So why aren't podcasts bigger on voice-enabled devices? They're pretty difficult to find, first of all, and also they're pretty difficult to listen to because they're too long, and also something which you're searching for when you know the spelling of an SEO word is not necessarily easy to find when you're searching via voice, and also if you want a particular episode of a particular show, it's even more difficult to find. Tom Webster has been talking all about this via podnews.net, and he said, so should you change your show? On the Freenoter podcast, and we mentioned this a couple of days ago, Freenoter is not a word, so if you actually ask Alexi to play you the Freenoter podcast, she doesn't understand what it is you're talking about. But on the Freenoter podcast that Tom Webster, the author of this article, does with his wife, about speaking engagements and so on, we end each 45-minute show with a different craft cocktail recipe and a quick story about it. So Tom says, should I just go back and lop those 3 to 5 minute segments off and turn them into a separate podcast called Drinks with Tom and Tamsin? He says, well, maybe, but all of this brings to mind one of the most common questions people ask in podcasting: how long should my podcast be? And podcast veterans kind of hate that question because usually the answer is as long as it needs to be and no longer. And certainly there are a couple of podcasts about voice tech which, frankly, could, let's be totally honest, could do with a little bit of editing, couldn't they? You know, that one I heard recently, which went on for 3.5 days, I just thought that was a tad too long. But many popular shows are really long. An hour or more. Hardcore History is frequently cited as an exception. It can be 4 hours long. So Tom says if I had a daily commute in a week's time, I could learn all about various different points of history. But actually, I'd quite love to have, instead of a hardcore history, a softcore history for those smart speaker occasions that was designed to fit the container it's in. So to make the content short to be heard easily on smart speakers. And we're back to flash briefings again. We'll finish off this article on Saturday. Tomorrow is Flash Briefing Friday. You'll join me then? Yeah, of course you will.
Part of the Briefcast.fm network.